Hello there, Gran Turismo 7 fans, and I've got a great race for you here today. Probably not the outcome we'd expect, but you're going to see what happens here. It's something I'm really proud of because I always say you should never ever give up, and this is just going to show why. Now today's race is just a daily C race at the Nuremberg GT track, where I, as a C driver, for some reason I got placed in a race with two or three A plus drivers, four maybe A drivers, and then everybody else was a B driver, and I was the only C guy in there. And I really struggled with this race just with C drivers throughout this week for some reason. But I did the best I could actually with the qualifying. I started off I think in 14th position, maybe 13th. We'll see here when we start. But with that being said, my goal was to see if I could somehow get into the top 10. Because if I can get in the top 10 when I'm facing the A drivers and the A plus drivers, that tells me I'm on the right track. So, my plan was to just drive the best I could and see what happens. I didn't really feel good about the race to start with, and we had some things happen here early on that are going to, really set us back. But the theme of the day, in anything that you do, if you want to be successful, you never ever give up. You just can't do it because other people will, and if nothing else, you'll pass the ones that do give up. So you never want to give up ever. Okay, so let's jump into the race here. This is the beginning of the race. We are actually in 13th position. So in order to get into that top 10, we're going to have to pass two or three people. So. And you may think, well, that's not a big deal. Well, it is when you're playing A racers and A plus racers and B drivers. I mean, it's sort of more like real life. They don't typically wreck and spin off the track and make mistakes and do crazy things. They typically, you can only get one or two positions if you drive at their level. And I'm not at that skill level. But we're going to do our best. And you can see we're coming down the straightaway here. This is the start of the race. I'm holding my own. I mean, you never know. I don't know how far out of my league I'm going to be here. So we're coming into the first turn. Just don't screw up, Martin. Just don't screw up. Okay, we slid a little bit, but we're still in this thing. We're kicking it back. We're in 12th, 13th place. Trying to get now. We're in 12th. Now we're in 13th. Kind of battling here. Watch what happens. We're going to go around the next curve here. Just holding our own. Just don't get involved in any kind of mess because this guy's got a 5-second penalty in 11th place. So we know at some point we'll pass him. We're going to squeeze right in here. Sticking to that 13th place. Don't want to lose anything here. Coming down the stretch, trying to push it, trying to go for it, trying to be aggressive. Oh no! What happens? We go off the track. Don't know whose fault that was. We're going to go back and take another look at this. This was a disaster. I really wanted to hit the quit button, jerk the power cord out of the wall, and forget about it and call it a day. Let's look and see what happens here. We try to pass this guy. We try to dive in the inside. We go off the track, lose control. That's all our fault. Nobody but us to blame. A lot of boos coming in on this one. But hey, look. What do we want to do? Well, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to give up. We're going to look at it one more time here. I wanted to quit. It was no point. It's a waste of my time. I'm definitely going to finish last, so why not just quit? Why not just give up? Why not just pack it in? That's what most people would do. But you know what? I decided, look, I don't get this opportunity every day. I'm not going to get paired with these guys probably again, especially if I quit. So let's just race it out. It only takes a few minutes to do the 10 laps, and let's just see what happens. Maybe some other people will quit, maybe they'll wreck, maybe they'll run out of gas, maybe they'll do something stupid. You never know. So as you can see here, I'm like 8 or 9 seconds back after that whole ordeal. After I finally got back on the track, I'm like 8 or 9 seconds back from the 15th place guy. And that's right, we're dead last, right where we're supposed to be, because we ain't nothing but a C driver. That's what I'm telling myself, that's what I'm thinking. But I've got to, at some point during this lap, my mind flipped and I said, roll tide, let's make Nick Saban proud, and let's don't quit, and let's don't give up, and let's go for it. We're not going to win, but let's make them drag us out of the car and beat us to quit. We will not give up. We won't quit. We're going to fight right here, and we're going to see what we can do. Roll tide, dadgummit. Now here we are, coming down to the last lap. For the first lap. We're in the first lap still. We're coming around to the end of it, and we're still dead last. I can't even see the guy in front of me, and I've decided at this point that the only chance I got to win this race is to fuel manage the car. Not win the race, but get in the top 10. Fuel manage the car, and don't run out of gas. I can't have a pit stop. When they pit, that's my opportunity to catch up and pass. So that's our plan, and I know it can be done. I've just not been able to try to do it this week. So as you can see, coming in the 5th lap, everybody's starting to pit. We have 2 guys quit, so we're in 14th place just from those guys quitting. And we got 4 people in front of us that are pitting. Boom, we're up to 9th place on the straightaway, starting lap 6. And our fuel is right below halfway. So we are cutting it down to the T. So now we're going to actually be in 11th place coming around the first turn. I believe that's another Porsche up there in front of us. Now we're going to go to lap 6. Here on lap 6, we are in 11th place as well. And this is the end of lap 6. You can look at the fuel gauge. We're in pretty good shape. We're managing that fuel pretty well. The tires are not too bad, but they're not as good as people who have fresh tires, obviously. But we're up to 11th position. We're going to try to sneak in here, see if we can't get in that top 10. Oh, can we? We're in top 10. Are we going to stay there? This is lap 7. Come on, stay. We've solidified it. We're in 10th position. That's great. On lap 7. Fuel's looking pretty good. Now look, our no quit, don't give up attitude, roll tide, baby. That's starting to pay off. We got real money here to win now. All right, they've pitted 2 more guys. Now, boom, we're in 7th place, 8th place. It's going back and forth. Let's see where we end up at the end of this first turn, turn 1. I mean, you just can't give up, guys. You don't never know. All right, look here. We're in 8th place. I mean, you know, the quitter wants to jerk the cord out of the wall and he wants to quit. Whatever he's doing, he wants to give up. He wants to drop out of college. He just made an F. He didn't pass a class. Don't ever quit. This is why you don't give up right here. We're in 8th place. The goal was top 10, even if we raced a clean race. That's all I wanted was top 10. But we just finding a way to stay there. Now my tires are getting a little carried away. My tires aren't doing too good right now. I'm losing lap time. People who have fresh tires are just quickly running up on me. I can see that. You can look at the rearview mirror in the bottom right here. We've dropped back to 9th position. We're about to be on lap 9 in 9th place. Somehow, if I could finish in 10 or above, I will be happy. Now I'm in 10th. I'm actually in 9th, and we're watching the 10th place guy. We're in his car looking at me right there. So we don't, you know, if he passes me, okay, that's one thing. But if the guy behind him passes me, then I won't have succeeded in what I wanted to do. But at least I wouldn't have come in last. But still, you know, I really want that top 10 and determination. You know, not quitting is one thing, but now the determination has got to take over. You've got to get in the zone. You got to focus on what you're doing, and you got to keep these people behind you and keep driving the best that you can with the skill level you have, because that's all you can do right here. So we're still holding in on 9th place, and he's behind us. We've had a couple good defensive maneuvers there. After this lap, we'll still have 1 more lap to go. Now, if you'll look at my tire gauge, bottom left-hand corner there, you know, it's not terrible. My fuel, I feel like, is in pretty good shape. I can start dialing back my fuel management and getting a little better. But the tires cause me to go a little wide there. He doesn't quite get it done. I'm not able to take this section of the track as wide open and as fast as I normally do. But he's not catching up, you know. So, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I know he's back there. I don't see anybody behind him. So at this moment, I'm thinking I still have a great shot. I know how sketchy the tires are, though, and I could lose control at any minute and spin out if I do something crazy. So I'm not in a position, if I really am, you know, got to be determined. We've got to go at it and be aggressive, but we got to be smart. We got to drive within the limits of what the car is going to let us do right here. So we're going to try to take a good line on this cane. Pretty good, not bad. We'll keep him behind us. Now, it's going to be testy here on this straightaway going into the last lap. If I feel like if I can make it through the first turn in 9th place, possibly I can hold 9th place the whole lap. You know, he's not driving perfect. Well, again, we're still in his car looking at me, and he does get my slipstream. He's slingshotting past me. Nothing I can do. I don't have the tires to stay up. I'm going to have to brake real early on this last curve. My fuel, if you look at my fuel, we are running on fumes. We don't have fuel. We have fumes. And we've got to make it around this track. Now, I feel like we're going to make it, but it's not a guarantee. I mean, and if we run out of fuel, we're like we get a did not finish. Might as well quit. All this was for nothing. So, you know, you take risk and you take chances, but you never accomplish anything without doing that. So let's just keep driving. This guy may spin out. You never know. He's probably a B driver, if I had to guess. He's a more skilled driver than I am. More than likely. I know that's just a letter. Maybe we just hadn't got it yet, and we do have the skill. But from what I've seen, these B drivers are a little better. Maybe the bottom tier B guys are not that much better, but most of them are more skilled than I am at this point. So I don't feel like there's a chance of coming in 9th. But I'm starting to see cars, and now we're in my car, by the way. I'm starting to see them. If you look at the rearview camera down here, I'm starting to see those cars gain. Now, I don't have a whole lot more left to get to the end, but I am worried. I'm having to brake early. I'm having to ease on my accelerator. You know, I have traction control turned on. It's just on 1, but I drive that way most of the time, but definitely with my tires in this condition, I'm driving that way. My fuel is also low. I mean, there's a lot of anxiety going on here because, I'm living off my principle, you don't give up, and I'm thinking that's going to win. That's going to get me to where I need to be. But if I do run out of fuel, then, it's all up. But here's the last chicane right here. The guy's still behind me, but he is right there. I mean, he's coming on. He's coming on strong. If we can get around this last curve, I know I can coast across the finish line if I need to, because if you'll look at the fuel gauge, it's almost gone. I mean, we're dead on the fuel. Here we go. Yes, we are coming in 10th place. Top 10 finish. Started in 13th place, come in 10th after a massive crash where the last place, the guy in front of me was 10 seconds ahead of me when I started after that crash. If I wouldn't have crashed and would have drove this way, maybe we would have come in the top 5. I don't know. I mean, the crash definitely set us back. But guys, never give up. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time on Martin Sim Racing. Thank you.